The race is on to tackle one of the biggest blind spots in global climate finance. That's the ocean. It covers more than 70% of the planet, but remains one of the least funded areas on the Sustainable Development Agenda. As countries gather in the French city of Nice for the third UN Ocean Conference this week, CNA's Shin takes a look at how urgent this issue has become.
Rising sea levels have sounded alarm bells for years. But global action still falling short. More than 20 million people are displaced by water-related disasters each year, and the Asia-Pacific is feeling it hardest. In some parts of the region, sea levels are rising up to 3 times faster than the global average. That's putting coastlines, communities, and entire ecosystems at risk. Singapore is no exception. As a low-lying island nation, it faces growing threats from the ocean. But as a global maritime and financial hub, it's also in a powerful position to lead.
Here in Singapore, the question isn't just about how to adapt, but how to lead on ocean innovation and sustainable finance. Then what will it take to turn the tide?
We spoke with Dr. Lizzie McLeod, Global Ocean Director at U.S.-based nonprofit organization, the Nature Conservancy, to find out what needs to happen next.
The ocean provides half of the oxygen that we breathe. It feeds 3 billion people through the fisheries that it supports. And it's been really important in helping to buffer the impacts of climate change by absorbing excess heat. But it's also super important for our economy. It generates over $2.5 trillion annually, and I think a lot of people just don't fully appreciate and understand the incredible benefits that it provides.
The Asia-Pacific region is especially critical. Home to 90% of marine trade, over half the world's mangroves, and a third of coral reefs, it boasts more underwater biodiversity than anywhere else on Earth. Protecting these habitats is vital for millions who rely on fishing and aquaculture for their livelihoods.
We're working in Indonesia with our Indonesia team, Yayasan Konservasi Alam Nusantara, to help develop reef-positive businesses. So these are ways of supporting businesses that are just starting out and incubating them so that they're generating revenue, but they're also, importantly, helping to conserve valuable coral reefs and mangroves around the region.
Global targets aim to protect 30% of oceans by 2030, but only 8% is protected today, and just 3% fully. Many areas exist only on paper, without effective management or funding.
We call them paper parks. So they're lines on a map, but they're not actually generating the benefits, whether it's the conservation benefits or the economic benefits that they're designed for. So one of the important things we need to do is to really lean in and make sure that they're effectively managed.
Individuals can play a role by getting informed, raising awareness, and urging governments to act decisively.
Well, one of the biggest priorities at the UN Ocean Conference is getting 60 countries to ratify the High Seas Treaty. So making these bold commitments to make sure that these high seas are protected.
That's exactly what was in focus at the 2025 UN Ocean Conference. On Monday, 18 more countries ratified the High Seas Treaty, bringing the total to 49, just 11 short of the 60 needed. Once in effect, the treaty will establish the first legal framework for protecting marine biodiversity in international waters.